Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva's expression changed drastically, and there was fear in his eyes. At this moment, he felt death, he felt the call of the Buddha, and he deeply felt that he was going to return to the land of ultimate bliss. But I don't want to go yet, I'm still young, I have ideals, I still have a bright future, and I might even become an existence like Buddha in the future. At this moment, Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva had only one thought in his mind. To live, I must live, and I must not die here. The Buddha's light began to shine brightly, and the Buddha beads were already in his hands. Just as he was about to move, a hand was placed on his shoulder, and Lin Moyu's calm voice sounded, "Little Buddhas don't need to move, they are here." Lin Moyu's words were like the sound of heaven, which calmed Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva for a moment. He suddenly realized that there was something wrong with his emotions just now. This was not his proper reaction. He was influenced by the orangutan, which has the ability to influence people's hearts. It happened that the orangutan monster had already rushed to the front, and the distance was only 100 meters away. Then they seemed to hit an invisible wall, and bounce back one after another. How fast it comes when it comes is how fast it bounces back. Lin Moyu continued, "Don't look at them, they will be sensitive and attack whoever looks at them." Little Ming Wang Bodhisattva felt lingering fear, forced himself to calm down. "Thank you, Lin Daoyu." Lin Moyu shook his head, "You're welcome, these guys are very powerful. The little gods who came in should have died at their hands." It is impossible for Lin Moyu to tell Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva what he saw, and directly put the label of the murderer on these orangutan monsters. There are a lot of orangutan monsters in the realm of the little gods, enough to kill those little gods who came in. Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva's eyes flickered. "It seems that the treasures of my servants will not be taken back. Let alone looking for the treasures of the Buddha clan now, even if he was asked to leave the tombstone 100 meters away, he would not dare." The Black Sand God King and the Earth Erosion God King didn't say a word, but they could understand what happened just now. They have long lost the desire to continue searching, and just want to get out of here quickly, no matter what is more important than their own lives. It's too dangerous here, it's not the place where they should come. There used to be so many little gods coming in, but none of them escaped. What's more, there are only a few people in my own area. Lin Moyu asked, "Little Buddha plans to continue searching here, or leave with Lin?" Little Ming Wang Bodhisattva hardly pretended to think. "It seems that this treasure has no destiny with this little monk. If there is no destiny, you can't force it, and this little monk plans to leave." Lin Moyu looked at God King Black Sand again. "Where is he?" The Black Sand God King also said, "We will leave here." Lin Moyu smiled. "Okay, since that's the case, then Lin will open the channel." After all, he communicated with the tombstone and opened the passage to the Huanggan Desert. A dark portal opened from the bottom of the tombstone. Lin Moyu said, "This portal can lead to the Lust Desert. Lin is one step ahead, fellow Taoists, see you in the future." Little Ming Wang Bodhisattva proclaimed the Buddha's name, "Goodbye by fate. See you soon." After finishing speaking, Lin Moyu stepped into the passage and was engulfed by darkness. Immediately afterwards, the three Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattvas also rushed into the passage, for fear that the passage would disappear. From extremely cold to extremely hot, the sudden temperature change makes it difficult for people to adapt for a while. Lin Moyu looked at the ground where the yellow sand was whistling, and looked at the 9 fireballs hanging high in the sky. Returning from the nether swamp, you will be randomly teleported to a certain place in the yellow dry desert. Lin Moyu found himself in the outer area, and he determined his position through 9 fireballs. To leave the Lust Desert, you can only pass the stone tablet in the oasis. After identifying the direction, Lin Moyu quickly went to the nearest oasis. He found that he could fly in the Lust Desert, and the nether swamp admitted that it was also effective here. It's not surprising to think about it, the Lust Desert is actually a nether swamp, flying in the nether swamp is also possible here. Being able to fly saves a lot of trouble. Only half an hour later, Lin Moyu came to the edge of an oasis, found a stone tablet that could leave the Lust Desert, and activated it. A dark portal appeared, and the aura belonging to the big world came out from the portal. As long as you enter here, you can leave the Lust Desert and return to the big world. This journey, in Lin Moyu's view, really seems like a lifetime away. Taking a deep breath, just as he was about to step into it, Lin Moyu suddenly stopped his steps. His face changed slightly, and there was a trace of panic in his eyes. At that moment just now, he had a whim and felt fatal danger. As long as he goes in, his life will be in danger. It's dangerous to go back to the big world. Where does the danger come from? Lin Moyu thought about it, and soon had an answer. It seems that the demon clan has already set up a net, and they even got in by themselves. Senior Zhu should be outside too. How could he watch the demons do this? The mantis catches the cicada and the oriole is behind, it seems. Senior Zhu wants to be an oriole. In other words, Senior Zhu just wanted to watch a show, to see how the cicada resisted me. Okay, if that's the case, let Senior Zhu take a look. However, let me think about what the devil's net will be thinking. If you want to kill me, you must first trap me. Various guesses emerged in Lin Moyu's mind, and Lin Moyu put himself into it. If he wanted to set up a net, what should he do? Based on his understanding of the demon clan, which demons will be used and what level of power will be used. Soon, he had thought of several possibilities and found a way to deal with it. Lightspeed Lich, Starlight Lich, and Flame Star Lich appeared beside him at the same time. The Star Lich summoned the projection of the Law Galaxy, and the Law Galaxy slowly wrapped Lin Moyu 500 before Lin Moyu entered the gate. With a brief teleportation, Lin Moyu left the Lust Desert and returned to the big world. The moment Lin Moyu returned, in the starry sky beyond the Lust Desert, the eyes of the Nightmare God suddenly opened. Get ready! His order spread across the stars, and the demons who had been waiting for days were ready immediately. Killing intent boiled and spread in the starry sky. The phantom started to create an illusion, waiting for Lin Moyu to appear and throw himself into the trap. Zhu Qiwu's eyes lit up. You brat is finally coming out, let's see how you will deal with this life and death crisis. In his eyes, in the face of this killing game, Lin Moyu will undoubtedly die under the premise of not using his life-saving cards. He can save people at any time, but he wants to see how Lin Moyu will react when faced with a deadly situation. Should he resist with all his strength, or directly use his whole cards to ask for help? A person's reaction to a death-defying situation can well reflect the state of mind. This is also something that must be learned to become the strongest. There was a space fluctuation in the starry sky, and then Lin Moyu's figure appeared in the starry sky. The starry sky was shiny and dreamy. Lin Moyu saw the sky full of stars and found himself on a grassland. Ning Yi, Mu Xianxian, and Xu Hu were sitting beside her. She rested her head on Mo Yun's soft thigh. The soft wind blows over, accompanied by the sky full of stars. The whole picture is extremely pleasant. Lin Moyu looked at the starry sky with a look of enjoyment. Is this an illusion? It's real. It's been a long time since I saw you, I really miss you. Lin Moyu took a deep breath with some nostalgia, and then carefully looked at the appearances of the four beloved wives. It's a pity. A fantasy is a fantasy, so we can't take it seriously. As he spoke, starlight appeared on his body, and the picture in front of him was shattered in the starlight. He had wrapped himself in the Star Lich early in the morning. The Star Lich's ability was to weave illusions and trap enemies. Similarly, it can also resist illusions, and this is one of its talents, a very powerful passive talent. Among the demon clan, phantoms are the best at creating illusions, but even if it is the illusion of the gods, don't try to use illusions to affect the Starlight Lich. Also protected by the Star Lich, as long as Lin Moyu wants to, almost all illusions will be ineffective against him. Just now Lin Moyu just wanted to see what illusion the other party had created for him. He didn't expect to see his four wives, so he was intoxicated in the illusion for 2 more seconds. Now that the illusion was shattered, Lin Moyu saw a saber coming towards him, and it was close at hand. The sword is a battle formation of demons, and the sword in front of him is composed of at least 1,000 powerful demons in the God King realm. Let the phantom weave the illusion first, trap me, and make me lose the power to resist. It's really a good idea to let other demons strangle me, it's a pity. There was a smile in Lin Moyu's eyes. He imagined several methods that the demon clan would use just now, one of which is the current one. First use phantoms to create illusions to trap yourself, and then strangle. So he let the Star Lich wrap himself, and use the characteristics of the Star Lich to fight against the illusion. In the eyes of everyone outside, Lin Moyu was motionless in the starry sky, like a person waiting to die. Excitement has already risen in the eyes of several demon gods. They didn't do anything, because they are gods. How could a dignified god condescend to do something to an ant? They just came here to sit in town, just in case. Looking at it now, it seems that there is no case. Before the saber approached, Lin Moyu suddenly moved. In the starry sky, a red light suddenly lit up. The red light carries a strong curse, cursing the soul. Fusion spell, Curse of Time. Chaos appeared in the demon battle formation instantly, and the god kings who formed the battle formation let out screams. Lin Moyu is already at the 9th rank of the true god at this time, and the power of the curse he uses has been greatly improved compared with before. It is enough to make the king of God feel the pain like heart-piercing. Under the curse, Zhang almost collapsed. Before the red light went out, a few pieces of minced meat appeared in Lin Moyu's hands, the remains of the stone demon corpse of the 9th level god king. Immediately afterwards, violent explosions exploded in the starry sky. The explosion is like smoke and tea, because it is more gorgeous. Every explosion is more than the full blow of the 9th level god king, like a strong man of the 9th level god king, playing self-detonation desperately. Even a small god venerable, in the face of such an attack, would have to retreat far away. The battle formation completely collapsed, and the demon kings inside were killed and injured almost instantly. Lin Moyu collapsed the battle formation in an instant, killed all the god kings, and locked onto the phantom in the starry sky in the next second. The illusion has no effect on him. The illusion hidden in the starry sky naturally has no place to hide in his eyes. Another beautiful firework blooming in the starry sky, this time Lin Moyu used local materials, using the fresh corpses he had just killed. Phantoms are a very difficult type of demons. They create illusions and have a strong ability to confuse. Assisting other demons can cause great trouble to the enemy. It can be said that the combat power of a team with phantoms is greatly enhanced. But phantoms also have weaknesses, that is, their bodies are very weak. Even if it is a phantom of the 9th level of the god king, its vitality is only comparable to that of the human race of the 1st level of the god king. If the ability to confuse illusions is lost, a human race of the 1st level of the god king can kill the phantom demon of the 9th level of the god master. In Lin Moyu's eyes, this is an extreme species that maximizes its strengths and also maximizes its weaknesses. In explosions, phantoms were killed one after another. When the gods of the demon clan reacted, there was no living creature around Lin Moyu. How come? How the hell did he do it? Several demon gods were stunned. After waiting for so long, the sky and earth net they had set up was so easily disintegrated. The one who reacted the fastest at this time turned out to be the stone demon who was in the god realm. The stone demon has a simple mind and doesn't think about why so much. He only knows that what he has to do now is to kill Lin Moyu, and that's enough. Therefore, he reacted immediately and killed Lin Moyu. There is a world of difference between the deity's movement and the deity's movement. A bright galaxy appeared in the starry sky, and in the galaxy were rolling boulders, and countless huge stones were surging like waves in the galaxy. Every boulder carries a powerful aura. If it hits a star, it will be enough to shatter the star. This is the Law Galaxy summoned by the Stone Demon God, and the Law Galaxy of Earth and Stone. One of the reasons why the gods are powerful is because they can mobilize the power of the Law Galaxy, which is difficult for even small gods to resist. The galaxy hangs upside down, and countless quartz stones fall towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu turned into a streamer and flew outward at a speed of 150,000 kilometers per second. You can't escape. The voice of the Stone Demon Lord came out from the Law Galaxy, and the Law Galaxy followed like a shadow, no matter how fast Lin Moyu was, he couldn't get rid of it. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, not necessarily. The undead wings spread out and vibrated rapidly. The soul lock was cut off in an instant, and the law galaxy that was chasing Lin Moyu seemed to have lost its target and stopped in the starry sky. The wings of the undead can cut off the soul lock, even the soul lock of the gods can also be cut off. The Stone Demon Lord didn't expect it to be like this. Seeing Lin Moyu's half-smile expression, he seemed to be insulted. Lin Moyu's actions are not harmful, but extremely strong. The deities want to save face. As he roared, the law galaxy suddenly grew larger, and in an instant, the starry sky had a radius of tens of thousands of miles, covering Lin Moyu in it. See how you hide this time. The attack turned into a map cannon. Although its power was greatly weakened, it also blocked all the possibilities of Lin Moyu's escape. Lin Moyu's expression changed slightly. Facing the attack from all directions, his heart skipped a beat, and his aura rose steadily. In the blink of an eye, Lin Moyu's strength reached the peak of the 9th rank of God King. As the bubble was punctured, Lin Moyu's aura rose again, directly reaching the level of a small god. Then a skeleton throne appeared in the starry sky. The skeleton throne was not big, and the aura of the skeleton king on it was also very weak, only the 4th rank of God King. What Lin Moyu needs is not the skeleton king. What he wants is the bone sword in the skeleton king's hand. The bone sword doesn't have any special bonuses, but it is extremely strong, and this kind of firmness is what Lin Moyu wants. With the huge boulder approaching, Lin Moyu shook the wings of the undead, and quickly shuttled among the chaotic and dense boulders. At the same time, he pointed at the Stone Demon Lord. Fusion spell, Curse of Time. The Stone Demon God Venerable let out a muffled snort, and his soul was slightly affected, causing a sting, but that was all. After the godly realm, the soul reaches the 4th rank, the defense is greatly improved, and the resistance to soul attacks is very strong. Lin Moyu was not surprised by this result, and swung a sharp sword light from the sword in his hand, blessed by 2 original spells. Joint Force, the technique forcibly raises the realm to the level of a small god, which is already the limit below the god. Strong Soldier under the spell, the damage will increase by 10 times again. In addition, the spell increase of the god-killing sword. With all kinds of blessings, Lin Moyu made his strongest sword so far. Although he still couldn't compare to the God Venerable, Lin Moyu knew this very well. He just thought about whether his sword could cause damage to the God Venerable. As for beheading the god, Lin Moyu never thought about it. It's not that he is incapable, but just relying on the sword to kill the gods is not enough. What's more, the law blessing of Lin Moyu's sword is only at the 9th level of a true god, not even at the level of a god king. The Stone Demon God Venerable didn't take this sword seriously at all. You don't understand the meaning of the sentence that everyone under the God Venerable is an ant. He concentrated his energy on controlling the law galaxy, and countless boulders crushed Lin Moyu from all directions, leaving Lin Moyu nowhere to escape. At the same time, a sword light suddenly lit up on his body. The sword light exploded, and sword marks appeared on his body, and a large number of wounds were drawn on the surface of his body. The wound was neither big nor deep, only scratched a little. But this sword made the Stone Demon Lord's complexion ugly. He was actually injured. A dignified god, 957, was injured by Lin Mo. This made him lose all face and lose face at home. Go to hell. He roared angrily, and Law Galaxy became more violent. Lin Moyu also couldn't continue to avoid the boulder because he swung the god-slaying sword, and was finally swallowed by the rolling stone flow. Feeling that he had lost all face, the Stone Demon God Venerable roared again and again, manipulating more boulders to crush Lin Moyu. I'm going to grind you into a pulp and crush your soul. Thousands of miles of galaxy, countless boulders like waves, even if there are thousands of troops, they will be crushed to pieces by this kind of attacking force. Zhu Qiwu, who was hiding in the dark, clenched his fists and was ready to strike at any time. Stinky boy, it's really strong, it's all right. He knew that Lin Moyu had a life-saving hole card, and if there was any danger, the life-saving hull card would be activated automatically, so he was not in a hurry, and it seemed that Lin Moyu hadn't reached his limit either. Zhu Qiwu continued to watch the show, but the only thing he had on hand was melon seeds and watermelons. 10 seconds later, the rolling stones gradually disappeared, and the starry sky returned to normal. Among the stars, Lin Moyu stands proudly. He looked intact, not even a bit of a wound. The stone demon lord's face suddenly changed. Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. How can you be alive? You can't be alive. Lin Moyu was smiling, with a faint purple light flashing across his body. Nothing is impossible. The attack of God Venerable is indeed powerful, and he was indeed fatally attacked just now. Every boulder hit far surpasses the attack of the little God Venerable. Even if he raised his realm to the level of a small god, he couldn't resist it. The undead army collapsed again, and the ruler of the legion had no time to heal. Even after he summoned the undead lich, he was killed instantly. After collapsing 6 times in a row, the talent was activated and Lin Moyu came back to life. After being reborn, he fell into crisis again, and the undead army once again entered the cycle of collapse and resurrection. Fortunately, the attack didn't last long. If it lasted a few more seconds, Lin Moyu would have to crush his life-saving cards and call for help. However, with this blow, he also experienced the gap between himself and the god, which is really an irreparable gap. Lin Moyu's aura is gradually weakening at this moment. The original magic has faded, the speed of light lich appears on the shoulder, and the wings of the undead spread out. I won't play with you anymore. Lin Moyu let out a low cry, and flew out instantly. With the blessing of the speed of light lich, his speed far exceeds the realm of the God King, and he has stepped into the realm of the God King. Maybe it can't compare with those gods who are good at speed, but it can still be compared with the stone demon god. The stone demon god Venerable reacted immediately and immediately chased after him. He locked Lin Moyu with his soul, but was cut off by silent words again and again. Seeing Lin Moyu flying farther and farther in sight, the stone demon god Venerable screamed angrily. At this moment Lin Moyu stopped suddenly, frozen mid-air. The god of nightmare appeared in front of Lin Moyu at some point, and cast an illusion affecting Lin Moyu. The nightmare god Venerable, who had never made a bold move at this moment. His method is silent, and his method of weaving illusions is extremely clever. Even a god can be trapped by his illusion, let alone Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was trapped in an illusion and frozen place. The god of nightmare appeared in front of Lin Moyu, only 10,000 meters away, with a sneer on his face. Just wait for death honestly. The genius of the human race should not be alive. Nightmare god Venerable has a good reputation among the human race, and countless geniuses have died in his hands. When he was in the God King realm, he was already on the reward list of the human race. But he never acted alone. The strong human race tried to kill him several times, but they didn't find a chance. Suddenly, thousands of stars shone on Lin Moyu's body, and Lin Moyu's eyes instantly became clear. You finally came out. Nightmare god Venerable let out a sigh, feeling that something was wrong. But it was too late. The soul heard a loud bang, and then the consciousness fell into boundless darkness. How did he do that? This was his last thought. He didn't understand how Lin Moyu killed himself. Even if he is the one with the weakest defense among all the gods, he is still a god anyway, and he is definitely not something that a god king can kill. He had seen Lin Moyu's attack just now, and it only scratched the surface of the stone demon god Venerable, so it was impossible to kill himself. But no one will answer him, never will. Lin Moyu had discovered the nightmare god long ago, but at that time the nightmare god was hiding far away, and there were several other gods in front of him, so it was difficult for him to lock onto each other. Until just now, when I was about to escape, the nightmare god came chasing him alone, weaving illusions for myself, which was equivalent to giving myself a chance to kill him. Lin Moyu pretended to be affected by the illusion, but in fact the star lich had already broken the illusion. When the nightmare god came before him, Lin Moyu instantly detonated the void wolf's body. As a phantom, the nightmare god has the weakest defense. The Void Wolf is a third-level deity, and detonating its corpse is equivalent to a third-level deity self-detonation, and its power is enough to kill or even kill other deities of the same realm. Lin Moyu feels that it is useless to use the Void Wolf to fry rough-skinned and thick-skinned stone goblins. Especially stone demons have the ability to recover. However, if it is used to blow up the nightmare god Venerable with the weakest defense, it is guaranteed to blow up everyone. The result was as he expected. The nightmare god Venerable really couldn't bear it, and was instantly killed on the spot. Lin Moyu quickly put away the body of the nightmare god Venerable, and turned into a streamer again and flew out. The whole process actually took less than 2 seconds. There is calculation and luck in it. Lin Moyu feels lucky. This is the second god Venerable who died in his hands. Lin Moyu thought in his heart that he had heard about the Buddha before, so he died at his own hands. Now it is nightmare god Venerable, although there is an element of luck, but he was really killed by himself. Seeing this scene, the stone demon lord froze in place, a little in disbelief. Lin Moyu took this opportunity to leave quickly. Killing the nightmare god Venerable is already a trick. He can't beat the stone demon god Venerable. Boom! The flames flickered in front of his eyes, and a bright galaxy of flames appeared in front of him, blocking his way. In the flame galaxy, the flame god appeared. You can't escape, no matter what method you use to kill the nightmare, but today, you will die. Black and red flames rolled in, and the flames of hell were like giant beasts in the starry sky, trying to devour Lin Moyu. Hundreds of thousands of stars were instantly enveloped in flames, and there was no room for Lin Moyu to escape. There is no need for soul locking, it is inevitable. God's free shot is a map cannon, and it is a very powerful map cannon. Lin Moyu's first reaction was to detonate the body of the nightmare god, trying to see if he could kill the flame demon in front of him. But he was shocked to find that he couldn't lock the flame demon. The flame demon seems to be right in front of his eyes, but in fact he is not here at all. What he sees in front of him is just a phantom. God Venerable is very smart. Seeing the nightmare god Venerable being killed, he will definitely think of a way to deal with it. In the final analysis, Lin Moyu is only the 9th rank of the true god, and he is more than 108,000 miles away from the god, so it is normal that it is difficult to lock. The Flame Lich dispatched and summoned the projection of the Fire Law Galaxy to resist the flames rolling in from all directions. I didn't expect that you are not a god, but you can summon the Law of the Galaxy. What a genius. It's a pity, your Law Galaxy is too weak, it won't last long. Lin Moyu's eyes were serious, and the flame demon was right. His Law Galaxy projection was too weak, and it couldn't be compared with the God Lord's Law Galaxy, and he couldn't hold on for too long. After absorbing a large amount of flames, the Fire Lich's Law Galaxy has begun to crumble and will collapse at any time. Lin Moyu held the black stone in his hand, ready to crush it any time. He quickly thought about countermeasures in his mind, but found that there was no way. Strength is too weak, this is flawed. The Flame Lich finally reached its limit, the Law Galaxy collapsed, and the Flame Lich returned to the magic star with a mournful cry. The flames backfired, and it was seriously injured, temporarily unable to appear. Black and red flames billowed in, trying to engulf Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu knew that he had no way out, and was about to crush the black stone and summon the big man for help. Suddenly, his brows loosened slightly, and he put the black stone away again. In front of him, a figure suddenly appeared, the starry sky. Zhu Qiwu finally saw enough drama and performed on stage in person. He slapped it with his big hand, just like swatting a fly, directly slapping the flames in the sky into fireworks. The fireworks exploded in the starry sky, and after a short period of brilliance, they disappeared. Only then did Lin Moyu realize that a god-level demon covered in flames was standing tens of thousands of kilometers away. No wonder the soul can't lock the other party, it's not here at all. Lin Moyu thought in his heart, looked at Zhu Qiwu, Senior, you are finally a civil servant. Zhu Qiwu chuckled, did you know the old man was here early on, kid? Lin Moyu shook his head, I guess you should be there, but I'm not sure. It seems that you have been watching the show all the time. Zhu Qiwu laughed twice. So, your composure is always warm? Lin Moyu didn't answer directly. What do you think? He knew that with Zhu Qiwu's eyesight, he would definitely be able to tell whether he was pretending or not. It is not so easy to hide it from the gods. Zhu Qiwu snorted, slippery. Lin Moyu corrected, I'm being smart. Zhu Qiwu didn't continue to argue with him, but looked at Lai Yan Demon and Shiguang Shenzuan. These two gods stood in the starry sky, not knowing where to go. In the starry sky, besides them, there are dozens of phantoms. Seeing the nightmare god Venerable being killed with their own eyes, these phantoms seemed to be frightened, and they didn't escape immediately. Maybe they thought that Lin Moyu would be killed by the stone demon god or the flame demon, so they didn't escape. They never thought that Zhu Qiwu would come out halfway. Zhu Qiwu didn't give these phantoms a chance to escape, and stretched out his hand towards them. At the same time, invisible giant palms appeared beside these phantoms, and they were collectively smashed into pieces. Zhu Qiwu's attack, even if he is also a god, can't withstand it, let alone the weakest defense of the phantom of the God King realm. Lai Yan Demon tried to stabilize his emotions, gritted his teeth, and stared at Zhu Qiwu. Who are you? Just now Zhu Qiwu shattered his law galaxy with a wave of his hand, revealing his formidable strength. He is extremely afraid of Zhu Qiwu, and he is ready to flee at this moment. The stone demon god Venerable stood far away and did not dare to approach, and he also felt withdrawn. Zhu Qiwu smiled, you must have been on the battlefield for a long time, haven't you even heard of the old man's name? The flame demon and the stone demon lord were bewildered, and did not think of Zhu Qiwu's identity. Zhu Qiwu seemed to be in a good mood at this time, and he was very satisfied with Lin Moyu's various performances, so he would talk to the two of them more. In normal times, he would have slapped him to death. Zhu Qiwu's voice was flat, my surname is Zhu. Surname Zhu. The flame demon seemed to have thought of Zhu Qiwu's identity, his face changed drastically, and he turned around and fled without saying a word. But it was too late. Zhu Qiwu slapped out a palm from a distance, and a huge palm appeared in the starry sky. The palm of the hand is like a star sweeping past, and the flame demon has no chance to dodge at all. After a palm, the flames went out, and the flame demon froze in place, and then his whole body was smashed into slag. The law of broken stars with one palm. Ask for flowers. This is an extremely tyrannical, almost unreasonable law. It was the same when Zhu Qiwu dealt with the clone of the abyssal dragon demon before, with a seemingly understatement, he directly killed the powerful enemy. The same is true now, dealing with the raging flame demon, who is also in the realm of God, is also annihilating with one palm. Zhu Qiwu's strength is extremely strong, and he can be called an invincible god, far surpassing ordinary gods. The stone demon god revered his dead soul, and he directly crushed the magic stone in his hand. A dark portal appeared beside him. As long as he entered the portal, he would be safe. He knew that he was not fast enough and could not escape at all, so he could only use this method to escape. It's useless. Zhu Qiwu shook his head lightly, and gently shook his hand towards the stone demon god. A palm was born out of thin air, firmly grasping the stone demon. The portal produced a strong suction force to suck the stone demon god into it, but Zhu Qiwu's palm firmly grasped him and prevented him from going in. The stone demon god Venerable struggled frantically, a galaxy of laws appeared above his head, and countless huge boulders rolled down and hit his palms. But it was useless. Zhu Qiwu's gathered palms were not something he could shake at all. After working hard for a while, the pitch-black portal finally disappeared. The soul of the stone demon god Venerable has sunk to the bottom of the valley, and he knows that there is no possibility of him being spared. Immediately afterwards, Zhu Qiwu shook it lightly. With a bang, the stone demon god Venerable was crushed abruptly and exploded in the starry sky. The stone demon, which claims to be extremely strong in defense, couldn't stop Zhu Qiwu's understatement. The stone demon god Venerable is dead, and there is no chance of recovery. Lin Moyu saw it in his eyes and couldn't help but sigh that this is the gap in strength. Zhu Qiwu is really too strong. No matter how you look at it, he doesn't look like a god. He felt that Zhu Qiwu was simply a dimensionality reduction attack. An adult bullied the children in the kindergarten, and this adult was still holding a weapon. Zhu Qiwu smiled and said, "See now." Lin Moyu nodded, "As long as your fist is hard enough, you don't have to be afraid of anything. Anything else? What's more, as long as the power is strong enough, the stone demon's recovery is fake." Zhu Qiwu chuckled, "It is true, everything is false, only strength is true. Remember this sentence, no matter how many means you have to save your life, if you are not strong enough, you are not enough. I can't kill you once, but I can kill you twice or 3 times, and I can always kill you." Lin Moyu knew that Zhu Qiwu was talking to himself, and immediately accepted it humbly. The younger generation understands. Zhu Qiwu nodded in satisfaction. "It's good to understand. Has anyone rescued Chuan?" Lin Moyu took out Su Qingyang's soul orb. At this time, Su Qingyang was not awake yet, and was still asleep. But the soul and body are intact, nothing serious. Zhu Qiwu looked very satisfied and put away the soul orb. Then he stretched out his hand and made a move. A piece of meat flew out from the flame demon's body, and the same piece of meat flew from the stone demon god's body. I left these 2 pieces of meat on purpose. Both of them are second-level gods. You can keep them." Lin Moyu was overjoyed, and put away the minced meat unceremoniously. This is the trump card. Counting the corpse of the nightmare god, Lin Moyu already has 3 corpses of the god. It seems that even in the face of low-level gods, he doesn't have to be careful. But if the god venerable uses some means, like the flame demon, so that he cannot lock the soul, he will also be very passive. The realm is too low, always somewhat restrained, too restricted. Especially in the face of the law star 070, he of the god venerable, there is a sense of powerlessness. Zhu Qiwu took out his car and got in, and Lin Moyu followed him. This powerful warship, capable of competing with the gods, carried the 2 of them back to the territory of the human race. Zhu Qiwu took out a jade tablet, which emits a hazy light when activated. This jade tablet can record various information, such as video and sound, and Lin Moyu has also used it. "Tell me about your experience in the Lust Desert, the more detailed the better. I will apply for an award for you when I go back." This task is not an ordinary task, and the rewards are not fixed. Zhu Qiwu wanted to report his experience in the Lust Desert to the Emperor Network, and then compare it with the information recorded in his battlefield card. In the end, it is possible to figure out what rewards to give. Advertisement. Lin Moyu even talked about his experience in the Lust Desert, explaining everything in detail. Lin Moyu neither exaggerates nor deliberately downplays, just narrating the whole process in a straightforward way. Zhu Qiwu stared at the side. "No wonder the demons want to go to war so aggressively, and even listed you at the top of the must-kill list. Jin Hui was actually killed by you like this. It's really a grief to die." Zhu Qiwu knew that Jin Hui was killed by Lin Moyu, otherwise Jin sure would not have done it. It's just that he had greeted the big shots in the human race 1 step earlier, and Jin sure had no chance to deal with Lin Moyu. Once Jin Hui died, Jin sure lost his heir, and it would be difficult to split up in the future. Stone Demon still pays great attention to inheritance. This time it has dealt a big blow to Jinshi. And after the Lin Moyu group wiped out the stone demons inside, the fresh blood of the stone demons almost disappeared. For at least 1,000 years, it will be very difficult for the gods to appear among the stone demons. It can be said that the stone demon suffered the greatest loss. After hearing Lin Moyu talk about what happened after entering the Nether Swamp, Yin Chiwu knew what was going on in the Nether Swamp. Thousands of years ago, when the rules of chaos first appeared, Su Qingyang and others entered the Nether Swamp once. For the next 1,000 years, the Nether Swamp has been in a state of no one entering until this time. So no matter which race, they don't know anything about Nether Swamp. Lin Moyu brought back brand new information this time, especially when he mentioned the great battle in ancient times, which is of great significance. Zhu Qiwu knew that whether it was the high-level people of the human race or the high-level leaders of several other powerful races, they all had a strong desire to pursue the ancient times. They really want to know what happened in ancient times, and they seem to be looking for something. It's a pity that Zhu Qiwu's level is still not enough, so he doesn't know the real inside story. Advertisement. As far as he knows, all things related to ancient times are of high value. Even a piece of fur can get a lot of rewards, not to mention that Lin Moyu has obtained such complete information, the rewards will be even more astonishing. Lin Moyu asked, Senior, you told me before that there was an earth-shattering war in the big world in ancient times, and I should have seen this. Zhu Qiwu thought for a while, and said uncertainly, what you saw should be just an insignificant battle in that great war. I'm not very clear about the specific information, that's what the real big shots are after. It's meaningless for you to pursue those things now. You should improve your strength and improve your realm. Lin Moyu knew that Zhu Qiwu was doing it for his own good, it was curiosity that killed the cat, don't touch things that don't belong to you. Lin Moyu took out a Buddha statue at this time, and the Buddha statue exuded Buddha's light, and for a while, Buddha's voice rang out in the space of the battleship. Zhu Qiwu's face changed slightly, sit down and turn into a Buddha statue. Lin Moyu asked, it turns out that this thing is called a seated Buddha statue. What's the use of it? Zhu Qiwu looked at the Buddha statue, and said in a deep voice, that little Ming Bodhisattva's picture is not small. Lin Moyu pricked up his ears, showing an appearance of listening attentively. Zhu Qiwu explained, the Buddhist race is somewhat different from other races in the great world. They have a unique way of cultivation, and even the realm system is slightly different. Buddhas have two choices after they have cultivated into a small Buddha. One is to become a Buddha immediately and step into the realm of Buddha, which is equivalent to our God Garden. Another option is to condense the Buddha kingdom, wait until the Buddha kingdom takes shape, and then enter the Buddha realm. A Buddha with a Buddha kingdom and a Buddha without a Buddha kingdom are completely two concepts, and there is a world of difference in strength. It's just that it's too difficult to unite the Buddhist kingdom. Few Buddhists would choose to do so. Lin Moyu said, you mean, Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva wants to unite the Buddha kingdom? Zhu Qiwu explained patiently, he really wanted to unite the Buddhist kingdom, but it was too difficult to unite the Buddhist kingdom, so he wanted to get the seated Buddha statue. The Buddha statue is made of a Buddha, who gathers all the power in front of him to form a Buddha statue. Advertisement. The Buddha statue contains all the essence of a Buddha, and to the little Buddha, it is a supreme treasure, a treasure far beyond the realm of ordinary gods. As long as he can absorb the Buddha's power inside, he will have the opportunity to condense the Buddha kingdom and become a Buddha with the Buddha kingdom. Besides, if the Buddhists want to break through the Buddha and reach a higher realm, they must unite the Buddha kingdom, so it is said that his plan is not small. Lin Moyu finally understood that Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva had concealed half of the truth. But I didn't tell the truth completely, the two were even. If there is any cause and effect in the future, Lin Moyu is not afraid, and the soldiers will stop him. Lin Moyu said, then, is this Buddha statue useful to us? Zhu Qiwu glanced at Lin Moyu, showing a strange smile, the seated Buddha statue can't be used by anyone except Buddhists. But from another perspective, it is actually a very good material. Rare. Lin Moyu understood in seconds, and immediately put away the Buddha statue. Since it is a material, he can try to use it to summon the elemental demon. Maybe a Buddha Lich can be summoned, which is fun to think about. Lin Moyu already wanted to understand that the little Buddha who entered the nether swamp with Su Qingyang back then became a Buddha immediately before he died, and truly stepped into the Buddha's realm. But it was too late, he could only condense the essence of his life into a Buddha statue, waiting for the destined people in future generations. I just didn't expect that this predestined person is Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu has decided to use it to summon the elementalic. It is best if it can be done, but if it can't be done, then think of a way. If it is sold to the Buddhist clan, people who want to come to the Buddhist clan will pay a lot of money. Just this Buddha statue, the trip is not a loss. After Lin Moyu thought about it, he finally asked about Eugene Gru. Lin Moyu asked about Eugene Gru, but Eugene Gru was just an introduction, and he wanted to know something about the Starry Sky Murlocs. The Starry Sky Murloc race, the Starry Sky Spirit race, the Starry Sky Demon God race, and the Starry Sky God Human race are called the 4 origin races. The Starry Sky God Human race is the human race. Lin Moyu is very curious about the other 3 source groups, why they can be called source groups. Where is the true meaning of the source group? There are too many secrets in the big world, constantly arousing his curiosity. Lin Moyu believes that one day, he will unlock most of the secrets, and by that time he will also stand proudly at the top of the world. Zhu Qiwu looked at the jade box in Lin Moyu's hand, and the exquisite little sword in the jade box, according to what you said. Did you see Eugene Gru in the video? That's right. Lin Moyu gave Zhu Qiwu an affirmative answer. Zhu Qiwu had met Eugene Gru before, and was very impressed with the princess of the Starry Sky Murloc. Although the Starry Sky Fishermen have the talent of the law of space, the probability of this talent being born is still pitifully small. Before there was Princess Ro, and now there is Eugene Gru, the Starry Sky Murlocs are lucky. Now, after listening to Lin Moyu's narration, Ajio Wu also fell into deep thought. But Zhu Qiwu didn't think of the answer. When I turn around and ask, "You have done a great job this time," I think someone will give you the answer. Rewards for meritorious deeds, punishments for mistakes. The human race has always been like this, with clear rewards and punishments. The warship returned to the territory of the human race, and the 2 teleported back to the number 8 fortress, and then transferred through the number 8 fort to return to the first floor fort. Fortress number 8 is full of coercion, but fortress number 1 is much more relaxed. Zhu Qiwu said, "You stay here for a few days, and don't perform other tasks for the time being." Understood. Lin Moyu naturally knew what Zhu Qiwu was going to do. He wanted to upload the situation of the Lust Desert to Renhuang Network and settle rewards for himself. Saying goodbye to Zhu Qiwu, Lin Moyu went to the trading center. There are still people coming and going in the trading center, and it is very lively. After many days, in the counter of the trading center, there is still Yuqing with a beautiful appearance and a graceful figure. When Yuqing saw Lin Moyu, her beautiful eyes lit up immediately. "Mr. Lin, you are here, I will notify Miss Zhu for you." Lin Moyu nodded, "Thank you." Soon Yuqing got a reply from Yuzhu, "Miss Zhu is already waiting for you at the back, hide your location." "Thank you." Lin Moyu went to the backyard familiarly, and a staff member came to guide the way halfway. In fact, there is no need to do this at all. Lin Moyu is an old acquaintance, but the rules are like this, so he has to do it. In the familiar gazebo, Lin Moyu saw Polygonata moderatum, which he had not seen for many days. Polygonata moderatum is still beautiful, and it is still brewing iced tea from the ice tribe, which brings a bit of chill to the already cool gazebo. Yuzhu showed a bright smile on her face. "Where has the captain been for so long?" Lin Moyu smiled, "To perform a special mission. This mission is quite long." Yuzhu made tea for Lin Moyu, and there seemed to be a trace of dissatisfaction in her voice. Lin Moyu picked up the teacup and poured the iced tea into his throat, bringing the long-lost coolness, and Lin Moyu couldn't help letting out a long sigh. First, in the Lust Desert, 9 fireballs in the sky scorched day and night. Although he is not afraid of high temperature, but compared to a comfortable environment, everyone knows which one he prefers. The nether swamp is extremely cold, and the low temperature can freeze the true god to death. For more than a year, Lin Moyu has never had a sip of tea or eaten a single dish. Sometimes Lin Moyu can't help sighing, maybe this is the life of a practitioner. Yuzhu smiled lightly. "The captain's mission this time, is the environment very harsh?" "It's really not good, and it's dangerous. I almost can't come back," Lin Moyu said half seriously and half jokingly. Yuzhu narrowed her eyes slightly, with a little surprise. "It's so dangerous." She knew Lin Moyu's strength, and even Lin Moyu almost couldn't come back. Obviously, the difficulty of this mission was beyond imagination. But she didn't ask any further questions. Unless Lin Moyu voluntarily said something like this involving personal privacy, she would not take the initiative to ask. Yuzhu said, "The captain asked me to inquire about it. There is already news, but the captain has not come back, and the captain cannot be contacted. Lin Moyu asked Yuzhu to inquire about the whereabouts of the top 10 enemy members on the human race reward list. After Yuzhu's efforts, he finally got the news. Yuzhu said, I don't know whether the captain wants the reward list of the Vermilion Bird Starfield or the reward list of the human race. The captain didn't make it clear at the time, so they asked together. Lin Moyu was drinking tea and beckoned Yuzhu to continue talking. At that time, he asked Yuzhu to inquire about the news. In fact, he was a little lucky. Yuzhu's family has a lot of influence and has a deep connection with the human military. He thinks that maybe he can get some news. Yuzhu said, of the top 10 people on the reward list of Suzaku Starfield, I can find out that only 2 of them are in Suzaku Battlefield. The first one is the 10th ranked guy, named Inhua, a demon from the Abyss line of the Demon Clan, with a 2nd level cultivation of the God King, who appeared in the 8-3B star area half a year ago. The second one is the 6th ranked Dazzling Gold God King, Golden Eagle Clan, 3rd tier God King, who appeared in area 8-68 3 months ago. The news is a bit late, one is from half a year ago and the other is from 3 months ago. Lin Moyu knows that Yuzhu has tried his best, who made him absent for the past year. And it can be seen that Yuzhu has been updating the tracking information, and it is not enough to inquire about it. Lin Moyu said sincerely, thank you. Yuzhu narrowed her eyes into crescent moons, and smiled, Captain, you are welcome. I don't know if they are still here. Then there are the top 10 on the reward list for the entire human race, among which the 10th place is the Yohua God King, the Demon Race, and the 9th rank of the God King, which appeared in the area 9-32 a month ago, the 8th ranked King of Lightbreaking, the Golden Eagle Clan, the realm of the Little God Venerable, appeared in the area 10-22 3 months ago. The last one is the 3rd ranked Nightmare God Venerable, Demon Clan, and God Venerable Realm. I don't know the exact level. It appeared in the number 8 war zone a year ago, and then disappeared. I don't know how to go collectively. But according to the latest news 577, the Nightmare God has not left the Suzaku battlefield. Captain, you probably don't want to kill the Nightmare God Venerable, do you? Yuzhu and Lin Moyu were joking. Lin Moyu is a true god, no matter how strong he is still a true god. Even if one can fight across borders and defeat opponents of the 6th, 7th and 8th ranks of the God King, it is impossible to beat the God King. Yuzhu squinted her eyes. Her smile was already overflowing, she really wanted to see Lin Moyu's astonished expression. But it's a pity that Lin Moyu didn't have any expression, and he was very calm. Lin Moyu's thoughts, only he knows. Nightmare God Venerable is actually the 3rd guy in the reward list of the human race. It seems that he has done a lot of damage to the human race. It's a pity that he is no longer on the Suzaku reward list, and killing him doesn't count as completing the mission. However, his corpse can be kept. When my authority is raised and I reach level 5 authority, the Suzaku reward list becomes the whole star domain reward list, and then I can use his head to turn in the mission. At that time, when the mission was issued, it was very clear that it was necessary to kill the top 10 people on the Vermilion Bird Starfield's reward list. This task has a certain element of luck. If you can find it, it will be easy to complete. If it cannot be found, it may be delayed for a long time, possibly decades or even hundreds of years. Lin Moyu can only go with the flow for the time being. Yuzhu waited for a while to see Lin Moyu still did not respond, put his hands on his chin, and said helplessly, Captain, you just don't have a sense of humor. The latest news will be sent in 3 days, so please don't miss out this time. Lin Moyu didn't know how Yuzhu, or how the Yu family, got the news. According to Yuzhu, every once in a while, there will be news delivered. The news she mentioned is actually a large amount of information, which will gather various dynamics. For example, what major events happened recently, where did the war start again, and what happened? In Lin Moyu's view, this is like the news of the previous life, but it is not updated daily, but updated every once in a while. It may be due to being on the battlefield, and many news transmissions will be a few beats slower. She was in charge of the transaction before, and she didn't care about such news. It was also because of Lin Moyu's request that she started to pay attention to this kind of news, and only those that Lin Moyu wanted to see. These days Lin Moyu will stay in Fort Number 1, just waiting for news. Lin Moyu sipped his tea. Okay, we're done talking about business, now we can talk about business, I have something to sell here. Yuzhu giggled, okay, I can't ask for it. Whenever Lin Moyu comes back, it's not that he made a lot of money, but the transaction volume this time is estimated to be astonishing. Yuzhu reckoned that 9 times out of 10 she would call a few sisters to come and support her. Yuzhu was completely stunned when Lin Moyu took out the traded item. The transaction is not only large, but also surprisingly high. Lin Moyu killed many stone demons in the God King realm in the Lust Desert, and all their belongings belonged to him. Most of the things are useless to oneself and can only be used to exchange for points. After leaving the Lust Desert, Lin Moyu not only killed a group of phantoms, a demon battle formation composed of 1,000 god kings, but also harvested the inheritance of 3 gods. It was the inheritance of the god, and Yuzhu's eyes widened and her mouth opened wide, unable to speak for a long time. In front of Polygonata Moderatum, there are thousands of magic weapons for storage, all of which have different shapes. However, there are 3 storage magic weapons that are particularly dazzling, and the aura they emit is completely different from other storage magic weapons. With Yuzhu's eyesight, she could tell that these 3 storage magic weapons came from gods. The magic weapon is stained with the aura of gods, and it stands out from the rest of the stored magic treasures. It took a while for Yuzhu to come back to her senses, her voice trembling. Captain, did you kill the god? And there are still 3? Lin Moyu took out one of the magic storage treasures, which looked like a bracelet, but Lin Moyu remembered that it was hung on the ear of the nightmare god. It was his earrings. I killed this deity, and I didn't kill the other 2, they were done by a senior. There were little stars in Yuzhu's eyes, as if she didn't hear the second half of Lin Moyu's sentence, but only the first half. He kept muttering in his mouth, Captain, you actually killed the god, you killed the god. At this time, she has completely transformed into Lin Moyu's little fangirl, a loyal fan, and she can no longer change this idea. Lin Moyu even felt a force of faith flying out of Yuzhu and landing on himself. He also expressed helplessness about this, but looking back, it seems that there is nothing wrong with having an extra loyal fan. Yuzhu blinked her misty eyes. Captain, what is the name of the deity you killed? Is it famous? What race? What level? Is it powerful? A series of questions were thrown, and Lin Moyu took a sip of iced tea before slowly saying, it's okay, the specific level is not clear, his name is Nightmare God, the phantom of the demon clan. Yuzhu was shocked again. At this time, she no longer had any mature temperament. Could it be that Nightmare God Venerable? Lin Moyu nodded, that's it. Yuzhu couldn't help screaming, oh my god, Captain, you actually killed the Nightmare God Venerable, who was 3rd on the reward list. Oh my god, ah. Seeing her so excited, Lin Moyu wondered, why so excited? Yuzhu said, Captain, you don't know how high the human race's reward is for it. It is a magic weapon of the god realm. There are also contribution points, and time to use the human emperor's training site. Anyway, there are many rewards a lot. Lin Moyu is not surprised, after all, he is the 3rd-ranked guy in the whole star field reward list, and he is still in the realm of gods. No matter how many rewards he gets, he is not surprised. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, okay, let's start the settlement. Yuzhu waved her little hand, wait a minute, let me take it easy, let me take it easy. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry, drinking tea lotus jade bamboo to calm down. After a while, Yuzhu finally calmed down. She called 5 sisters, and began to count and evaluate the items in the magic treasure, but the 3 storage treasures from the gods were all settled by her personally. There were so many items that a total of 6 people worked all day to take stock and calculate the final price. Yuzhu gave Lin Moyu a whole number of 230 million points. Yuzhu reported this number in surprise, Captain, you've gotten rich again. Then she said with a little pity, it's a pity that there is no remittance method of the gods. The harvest this time exceeded the harvest of the previous two missions, and it was also the largest transaction that Yuzhu had handled so far. It's a pity that in the storage of magic weapons, there is no magic weapon of God's exalted realm. Most of them are materials, and they are also materials of the demon race. In the human race, although these materials are also useful, their value will drop significantly. If there is a magic weapon of the divine realm, the price will be completely different. Even the worst magic weapon in the God realm is worth more than 1 billion points, which is the purchase price of Yuzhu. If you want to use the points to buy a magic weapon of the godly realm, it will cost at least 1.5 billion, and there is still a price, but no market. The reason is because the divine treasures are too rare. After the gods get the magic weapon of the gods, they will generally be collected in their souls. After the deity dies, these magic weapons will also be destroyed and disappear, so it is difficult to obtain. Lin Moyu is already very satisfied with this. More than 200 million points is not bad. After all, I am a poor man now. Before buying materials, Lin Moyu used up his points, and he only has tens of millions of points, but now he finally added a little bit back. When Zhu Qiwu's task rewards come down, he will be able to earn another sum of money. In fact, Lin Moyu never thought that 10 million points is a huge sum of money for most true gods. Even some god kings don't have so many points. Lin Moyu is not allowed to get 230 million points, and at the same time can get 23,000 military points. Good money. Combined with his previous military achievements, his military rank can be promoted to the 6th rank of non-commissioned officer. From the current point of view, the role of military rank is not great, that is because it is not yet time. When he becomes a general, the rank can play a real role. With his honorary title, he will be a glorious general at that time, and he can exchange his military achievements for many good things. As long as the military skills are sufficient, the magic weapon of the godly realm and the battleship of the godly realm can be exchanged. After leaving the trading center, Lin Moyu immediately went to the military merit department to exchange the points for Shigong. With military merits added, the military rank was successfully promoted to the 6th rank non-commissioned officer. The 6th rank non-commissioned officer is definitely the best in the real god realm, which is higher than many god king realms. Those god kings who raised their authority to the 5th rank may not have a higher military rank than Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu went to the task center instead, trying to find a new task that suits him. One of his serial missions requires 5 missions to be completed on the battlefield, and he has already completed 3 missions, and he is still short of 2 missions. The 5 battlefield missions are actually not many, but it is a pity that Lin Moyu has always had all kinds of troubles, and as a result, the 5 battlefield missions have not been completed for a long time. Among them is the reason that Lin Moyu is not in a hurry, and the task of hunting the top 10 enemies on the reward list has not been completed. The accumulation of military merits is also not over, so Lin Moyu is not in a hurry. In the task center, Lin Moyu picks and chooses, looking for a task that suits him. The realm is getting higher and higher, and the strength is getting stronger and stronger, and Lin Moyu's requirements for tasks are getting higher and higher. He doesn't like tasks with mediocre rewards and low requirements. For example, there is a task that needs to go to Area 5 to 33 to hunt down some starry sky behemoths inside. This task requires only the 7th level of the true god, and it seems to be a combat-oriented task, but Lin Moyu didn't take it at all. What he considered was not the difficulty of hunting the starry space behemoth, but the people he would meet during the mission, the people of the hostile race. If the task is too low level, the people of the hostile races he encounters will also be low level, so his income from killing people and looting will decrease. Lin Moyu also wants to earn more for doing the same tasks, and the points are more useful, and he can also use them to buy materials. While subtly changing his thinking, Lin Moyu almost only looked at the tasks in 7, 8, 9 or 3 theaters. However, most of the tasks inside have requirements for levels. At least the God King can take it. Only a few can be accepted by the true God, such as the task of exploring ancient tombs. After searching for a long time, I found a few tasks that seemed more suitable, but unfortunately the level is not enough, so I can't accept it. Forget it, wait for the news from Euzubian. It's really not possible, first raise the level, and then take the task. After all, it's almost time to be promoted to God King. Otherwise, you can't use the original spells as you like. Lin Moyu thought for a while, and finally gave up on accepting the appointment as a doctor immediately. If the news from Yuju's side is not satisfactory, then he can consider being promoted to God King first. Now he is not far away from the God King, maybe a short retreat can be promoted to the God King. After becoming a God Queen, there will be many more tasks that can be accepted. After leaving the mission center, Lin Moyu entered the living area, went to the restaurant to order a lot of food and some good wine. Lin Moyu drank alone, replaying the previous battles in his mind. See if you can do better, and look for mistakes in combat so you don't make them next time. CGDG, there were people coming and going in the restaurant, and someone came to Lin Moyu, junior brother Lin. Lin Moyu interrupted his thoughts and looked up to see a handsome young man. The young man exudes the aura of the God King, but the aura is not perfectly controlled. Obviously he has just been promoted to the God King. He didn't hide his information. Fortress number 1 was covered by the Imperial Network, and Lin Moyu could check the opponent's name. Zhang Zi. Lin Moyu has seen this name before, and he can see it every time he opens the potential list, ranking second on the potential list. Lin Moyu said calmly, I remember, senior brother Zhang once challenged me. The corners of Zhang Zi's mouth twitched twice, with a little embarrassment. Don't mention the embarrassing things in the past, junior brother Lin. The aura displayed by Lin Moyu is always in the realm of true gods. However, most people would not believe that Lin Moyu was in the real god realm. After all, the person who can reach the top of the combat power list, how could he be in the true god realm? But Zhang Zi has his own way. He found out Lin Moyu's real realm, which is the real god realm. A true god realm can not only fight across borders, but also cross several small realms after crossing borders. This kind of genius is indeed beyond his reach. Zhang Zi has already been convinced by Lin Moyu, and has long since lost his mind to challenge Lin Moyu. Zhang Zi pointed to the seat beside him, junior brother Lin, is there anyone here? Lin Moyu shook his head, sit down and have a drink. Zhang Zi didn't hesitate to sit down directly. Junior brother Lin doesn't seem to be in the number 1 fortress recently, he must be on a mission. Lin Moyu responded non-committally, but did not answer directly. Zhang Zi smiled mischievously. This kind of matter involves personal privacy, so it is normal not to answer. Zhang Zi took advantage of his sociability. Junior brother Lin, have you ever heard of the 4-star field competition? Lin Moyu looked at Zhang Zi. I heard, it should be opened in 3 years. Zhang Zi nodded, to be precise, there are still 3 years and 21 years. I think junior brother Lin must be going to participate. Song is not sure what capacity junior brother Lin will participate in. Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback, is there anything special about it? Zhang Zi said, it's not that particular, but different identities, there will be some differences. I would like to hear more about it. Lin Moyu probably guessed Zhang Zi's reason for coming. Zhang Zi once challenged himself, but he did not accept it at the time. Because of this matter, even if there is no conflict between the two, there will always be some gaps. This time, Zhang Zi obviously took the initiative to cultivate relationships and make up for the gap. Lin Moyu actually didn't care, he wasn't that small-minded. As for whether Zhang Zi cared, that was Zhang Zi's business, he couldn't control it. Zhang Zi said, the people who participate in the 4-star field competition are generally divided into 3 types. One is the Domain Master line, the other is the War God line, and the other is the Free Man, representing himself. Among the Domain Masters, the Star Masters actually recommend suitable candidates to the Domain Masters, and then the Domain Masters decide the final candidates. The number of places is limited, generally no more than 10 people. The people in the Temple of War are all from the Temple of War. In fact, They don't need to participate in the 4-star field competition. The Temple of War itself has a quota to enter the City of God. The number of people in the Temple of War is the least, usually 5 people. The last is the free man, that is, casual cultivators. The amount of casual cultivators is the largest, reaching hundreds of millions per year. 1 year before the start of the 4-star field competition, there will be a large number of competitions in each galaxy. The winner advances and the loser retreats to determine the final contestants. Each time there are about 1,000 people. Lin Moyun nodded slightly, he understood what Zhang Zi said. The personnel of the Domain Masters and the God of War Department do not need to participate in round after round of competitions, and can directly participate in the 4-star domain competition. As for those casual cultivators, because there are too many people, they need to compete first and conduct preliminaries. In the end, only the winners are eligible to stand out. Zhang Zi poured himself a glass of wine very familiarly, and gulped it down. From the results of previous years, among the 3 parties, the people from the Temple of War God are often the strongest. That's why they are also called seed players. Just like the previous top 100, our Suzaku Starfield only accounted for 8 people. Among these 8 people, 4 people are from the Temple of War. Of the remaining 4 people, 2 of them belong to the Domain Master line, and 2 of them are casual cultivators. Especially the ranking of these 4 people is not as good as the 4 people in the Temple of War. Lin Moyu looked at Zhang Ziyue. He heard something different from Zhang Ziyue's words. What does senior brother Zhang mean? Zhang Ziyue said, to tell the truth to junior brother Lin, Zhang joined the Temple of War God a long time ago. I don't know if junior brother intends to join the Temple of War God. It turned out that Lin Moyu finally understood that Zhang Ziyue was here to pull people. It is normal to say that it is normal to say that the second in the potential list is the first. The Temple of War God had pulled him before, but he didn't agree. He didn't agree before, so naturally he won't agree now, otherwise Zhu Tian or Zhu Qiwu would ruin themselves. Looking at Zhang Ziyue with a sincere face, Lin Moyu smiled slightly. Aren't you afraid that I will go to the Temple of War and steal your spot? Zhang Ziyue shook his head. Junior brother Lin doesn't know that. In fact, there are many places in the God of War Hall, but only the best people are recommended to participate in the God of War Hall every year. The Temple of War God pursues essence, not excess. Lin Moyu believed that Zhang Ziyue would not talk nonsense, so joining the Temple of War God would not affect the eldest son's quota. Lin Moyu did not answer Zhang Ziyue's question, but asked, is there no one from the military? Zhang Ziyue shook his head. The military doesn't care about these things. Senior brother Zhang, can you tell me more about the 4-star field competition? Lin really knows very little about it. Lin Moyu poured a glass of wine for Zhang Ziyue. Zhang Ziyue felt flattered, and immediately had nothing to say. From Zhang Ziyue's mouth, Lin Moyu had a comprehensive understanding of the 4-star field competition. In fact, there are still many rules and conditions in the 4-star field competition, one of which is that the participants must be gods. This is a hard threshold. Even if you are the peak of the 9th order, true god, a genius who can fight across borders is not enough. You must be in the God King realm. Moreover, he also learned that some of the people cultivated by the Temple of War God did not join the ranks of the combat power list. In fact, they are all very strong and are seed players. People like Zhang Ziyue can only belong to ordinary members in the Temple of War God, and they are not seeded players. The main reason for being able to get the place in the Temple of War God this time is because he ranked second in the potential list, and the Temple of War God granted him a chance. The two talked for a long time. Most of the time Zhang Ziyue was talking and Lin Moyu was listening. Until the end, Lin Moyu did not allow Zhang Ziyue to join the Temple of War. It is impossible for Lin Moyu to join the Temple of War, and he will not participate as a casual cultivator. He is not interested in participating in rounds of competitions. He has already made a decision to participate in the 4-star field competition through Lord Zhu Tianyu, and believes that Lord Zhu Tianyu will give him this place. But the premise is that you want to be promoted to God King. After Zhang Ziyue left, Lin Moyu thought about what he should do next. Promote to the God King as soon as possible, and at the same time accumulate military merits as much as possible. In his second chain of missions, one of the missions was to accumulate military merits. From the time he accepts the mission until he leaves the battlefield for the first time is the statistical time for accumulating military merit. During this period of time, the amount of military merit obtained is directly related to the task evaluation. As for the other two tasks, you can do them in time, and there is no problem in doing them after the 4-star field Dobby returns. But at the same time, Lin Moyu also has doubts. If he has obtained the qualification to enter the City of God through the 4-star field competition, will he continue to perform serial tasks? After all, the serial mission is also to enter the City of God, and there seems to be some conflict between the two. Looks like I need to ask someone. Needless to say, the person Lin Moyu wants to find is naturally Zhu Qiwu. May I ask who else knows the 4-star field competition better than this old senior? Maybe, Eugene Gru once participated in the 4-star field competition, the core area of number 1 Star Fortress, which is also the most closely connected area between Star Fortress and Human Emperor Network. In front of him, there is a piece of jade taller than a person. On the smooth surface of the jade, there are complex runes engraved, forming a strange formation. In the formation, there are still some ancient characters. If Lin Moyu were here, he would be able to recognize that these texts are the original ancient texts. Zhu Qiwu communicated with Jade with his mind, and here he reported all the information of Lin Moyu's trip to the Lust Desert. Zhu Qiwu said what he said, neither exaggerating nor omitting any details. Renhuang Network received the news and at the same time connected with Lin Moyu's battlefield card silently. The capacity of Renhuang Network is very large, far greater than Lin Moyu imagined. The Renhuang Network that most people come into contact with is just superficial. Even if it is Zhu Qiwu, he has no access to the true core of Renhuang's network. After he finished reporting, he waited quietly. After waiting for a full half an hour, Renhuang Network finally responded and gave a reward at the same time. A familiar voice sounded in Lin Moyu's ear. Lin Moyu couldn't help feeling excited, and said silently, "It's finally here. Congratulations on completing the special mission, Lust Desert. Get 100,000 mission points, 10,000 military merits, 2 contribution points, 1 military supply point, 500 days of Human Emperor practice field, no limit to realm 1. Congratulations on completing the special mission, Rescue Su Qingyang. Get 100,000 mission points and 1 contribution point. The duration of the personnel training field is 300 days, no limit to the realm. Congratulations on completing the special mission, Exploring the Nether Swamp. Get 100,000 mission points and 1 contribution point. The duration of the personnel training field is 300 days, no limit to the realm. Congratulations on completing the private task, Bringing back Su Qingyang's soul. Get ordinary points. The Emperor grows for 100 days, no limit to the realm. The 4 missions in a row shocked Lin Moyu a lot. Unexpectedly, one of my missions was split into 4. Lin Moyu could still understand the first 3 special missions, but what about the last private mission? It has never been heard that private missions can be posted on the Renhuang Network. What kind of level must be reached to affect the Human Emperor Network? Lin Moyu didn't dare to think about it. 3 special missions, a total of 300,000 mission points, 100 million ordinary points, 10,000 military merit points, 4 contribution points, 1 military supply point, and 1,200 days of unlimited time in the Human Emperor's training ground. It's worth it, it's worth it. Even with Lin Moyu's temperament, he was extremely excited at this moment. Although the mission is dangerous, the rewards are really great. In this way, he has completed the task of level 4 authority, and the task points have accumulated to 640,000, and there is only 360,000 left before he can be promoted to level 5 authority. There are another 34,000 points that can be used for consumption, and there is no shortage of money for the time being. 10,000 military merits directly pushed his rank to the 7th rank field official. The duration of Renhuang's practice field has reached 3,500 days, which is an unimaginable wealth for most practitioners. The total contribution points reached 8 points, and the military supplies had 3 points. After Lin Moyu read it carefully, he quickly opened the contribution list. Sure enough, he has jumped to the top of the list. Suzaku Potential Ranking, Suzaku Contribution Ranking, and Suzaku Combat Strength Ranking, the 3 ranked first. The power of faith rolls in through the void, and the effect of being the first in the 3 rankings still needs a little time to ferment. Lin Moyu believes that after he ranks first in the 3 rankings, the power of faith will inevitably increase. Just as he was immersed in the joy of harvest, Zhu Qiwu's voice rang in his ears. Outside the fort. Hearing the call, Lin Moyu quickly checked out and left, then shot straight up into the sky, turning into a streamer and flying towards Shuchen. In the starry sky outside Fort No. 1, Zhu Qiwu's battleship was parked there. Lin Moyu flew into it and met Zhu Kawujiu. Zhu Qiwu sat in the battleship drinking tea leisurely, half closed his eyes, and smiled. How about it? Have you received the reward? Are you satisfied? Lin Moyu saluted respectfully. Thank you, senior. He knew that Zhu Qiwu was inseparable from getting so many rewards this time, and he probably said a lot of good things for himself when he reported. Zhu Qiwu waved his hand. This is what you deserve. Our human race is like this, rewards are rewarded, and punishments are heavy. Of course Lin Moyu understands this truth, the human race has always been like this. Zhu Qiwu turned to ask, when do you plan to be promoted to God King? Lin Moyu said, this junior really intends to be promoted to God King in the near future, but there are still some problems in terms of the rules, but it will not be too difficult to solve. It can be half a year soon, or 2 years later, and this junior will definitely succeed in being promoted to God King. Zhu Qiwu hummed, you will be eligible to participate in the 4-star competition after being promoted to the Queen of the Gods. Then 307 will ask Zhu Tian to give you a place, and you don't have to participate in rounds of competitions. With Zhu Qiwu's words, Lin Moyu was relieved. As long as Zhu Qiwu speaks, God will definitely give him a place. Lin Moyu felt a little grateful in his heart. Senior, this junior still has some questions, and I want to ask senior for advice. Zhu Qiwu chuckled, sit down and have a sip of tea, and ask slowly, the Divine King realm is a very important realm, so don't be careless. Naturally, Lin Moyu would not let Zhu Qiwu make tea for himself, but respectfully made tea for Zhu Qiwu. In Zhu Qiwu's mind, he is like a teacher in a small world, a very respectable elder. Lin Moyu raised his own question, Senior, I want to know how to perfectly promote to the God King. Zhu Qiwu smiled, as if he had guessed that Lin Moyu would ask this question. There are many problems for Lin Moyu, but the most important thing is how to be promoted to God King. The prerequisite for being promoted to the God King is a 3rd-rank soul, and Lin Moyu has no problem with this. Lin Moyu's soul has reached the peak of the 4th rank, and the Jade soul is purple, stronger than most gods. Then there is the control over one's own laws. The 9th-level true god has 26% control over one's own laws, while the God King's is 30%. As long as you continue to comprehend the law, increase the control of the law to 30%, and your soul is strong enough, you will naturally be able to be promoted to the King of God. This is what every true god must do to become a God King. What Lin Moyu thinks about is how to comprehend the law more perfectly. As far as he knows, almost most people will have flaws in comprehending the laws. This kind of flaws can't be seen at the 1st level of God King, but it will be manifested when they reach the 9th level of God King and prepare to step into the God King. At that time, if you want to go back and repair it, you will get twice the result with half the effort, which is very difficult. Lin Moyu naturally didn't want to do this, so he wanted to set aside the God King perfectly. Zhu Qiwu drank the hot tea poured by Lin Moyu himself, and said slowly, you have met all the conditions for being promoted to the God King. With your understanding and the power of faith, the promotion to the God King is a matter of course. Any bottlenecks? But if you want a perfect promotion, hee. Lin Moyu poured Zhu Qiwu hot tea again. Senior must have a solution. Zhu Qiwu hummed, of course there is a way, but you have to pay a price. Senior, please advise. Lin Moyu was overjoyed, as long as there is a way, it will do. He hopes that the future road will go more smoothly, so he needs to make himself perfect. Zhu Qiwu shook his head, you may not understand what I mean, the perfect promotion I mentioned may not be the same thing as the perfect promotion you think of. Lin Moyu was taken aback for a moment. He also saw the explanation of perfect promotion in the materials, but it was certainly not as detailed as Zhu Qiwu. Is there a difference between perfect promotion? Lin Moyu asked in a low voice. Zhu Qiwu is no longer a joke, actually, the perfect promotion that most people talk about is only the perfection of the law, not everything. The perfect promotion that the old man said also includes the perfection of the body. Perfection in the physical body is very difficult. It is difficult for one person out of billions to achieve it, because first the physical body must be raised to the peak of the true God. Lin Moyu's heart shuddered, knowing that what Zhu Qiwu said was true. In today's big world, the soul is more important than the body. Even for a race with a strong body, the level of the body is far inferior to the soul. Like the human race, the physical level is almost always driven by the soul state. The cultivation base has reached the God-King state, but the physical body is still in the super-God state. After reaching the godly realm, the physical body is still in the true God realm. So what Zhu Qiwu said is true. Almost no one can achieve a truly perfect promotion. Lin Moyu's physical body has reached the peak of the true God, and he has the basis for a perfect promotion. Zhu Qiwu chuckled, but you can do it. Let the soul and body step into the realm of the God King at the same time, but you're also paying a price, and it's not small. You now have 3 military supply points. You need to use military supply points to exchange 2 items from the military warehouse, and you need to spend 2 military supply points. However, one of these 2 items belongs to the God King realm, and the other belongs to the God Exalted realm. According to the rules, you cannot exchange them. At this time, you need to use contribution points. You can use 1 point of contribution plus 1 point of military supplies to exchange for a treasure of the God King realm. With 2 points of contribution plus 1 point of military supplies, you can exchange for a treasure of the godly realm. Lin Moyu was suddenly enlightened when he heard that. It turns out that contribution points still have this effect. Military supply points can only be exchanged for treasures of the same realm, and if contribution points are added, they can be exchanged for treasures of a higher realm. Every higher level, more contribution points are needed. Lin Moyu is now in the real God realm. If he wants to exchange for the treasures of the God King realm, he needs to pay 1 contribution point. If he wants to exchange for the treasures of the God King realm, he needs to pay 1 more contribution point. Contribution points and military supply points are not easy to come by, so Zhu Qiwu said that Lin Moyu has to pay the price. It is very uneconomical for Lin Moyu to use military supply points and contribution points now. If you wait until Lin Moyu becomes a god, you can directly exchange for the treasures of the God realm. If it is combined with contribution points, the value of the treasures that can be exchanged will be amazing. But now he is in the real God realm, and the land share is not worthwhile. Lin Moyu didn't think much. Please go ahead and tell me what you want to exchange. The munitions points and contribution points are used up, and the big deal is to earn them later. In his opinion, the promotion of God King is completely better than perfection. Zhu Qiwu chuckled, okay, you have to exchange 2 things. One is called Faith Body Mirror. This is a treasure of the 0.0 state of gods. Its function is to collect the power of faith, use the power of faith to reflect yourself, and you can see your own laws, all the omissions in it. The first item is called the low-level Demon God Stone. It comes from the Starry Sky Demon God clan. It is a kind of magical treasure. Using it, you can improve the realm of your physical body, and raise your physical body from the peak of the true God realm to the God King realm. Lin Moyu immediately began to exchange, and he did not need to go to the warehouse to open the military supply warehouse. He only needed to operate with his mind through the Renhuang network. Lin Moyu's consciousness is connected to Renhuang Network. Open the military supply warehouse. A corresponding reminder came from Renhuang Network. Opening the military supply warehouse requires 1 military supply point, which cannot be undone. Please confirm whether to open it. Open. With a thought in Lin Moyu's voice, he decided to open it. The military supply warehouse is being opened for you, and the military supply points have been deducted.